Hello, I'm Chrissy Seaton. Last week we spent some time talking about modesty in terms of dress, particularly for women. And this week the talk is perhaps a bit of a continuation from that. But modesty is not only how we dress, but it's also about our behaviour and our lifestyle. So I just want to chat with you about a couple of things today. We would all recognise that we're a different person today than we were yesterday, because all of the experience that we had in all the yesterdays gone by, they give us tools, they give us, they're lessons to us on how we behave. If perhaps we come across that situation again, would we do it differently? Would we have said something differently? So that experience is a wonderful classroom in life. It gives us gifts and skills that help us to continue on with our life. So I'm going to talk about how we can use those experiences, what it does for us. We all are capable of change, and what you were a few years ago may not be who you are today. We've all done things in the past, or said things, or had a company of people that perhaps today we think, oh my goodness, why did I do that? I remember in my early days at boarding school, I was running through the corridor rather fast and laughing to some of my other friends about something. And I remember one of the teachers, she pulled me aside and she said, "A little bit of decorum, please." Well, I had to go and look that word up in the dictionary. I'd never heard it before. And so I did. And you know, I have never forgotten that word or that lesson that teacher taught me. So having decorum, or the word decorum, really means being polite, correct, dignified, certainly not boisterous and loud as I was running through the corridors. So I have a personal philosophy in life. I've had it for many years, and it is simply this, that life's experiences, they serve to groom the mind and temper the soul. And you may quote me. And I often rethink that. I think of that every day in some form or another. And I thank our Father Hashem for all the life experiences that He has allowed me to walk through and in most cases improve from. And if I didn't, then that was my failure, not Hashem's. I want to give you a little example. When you use the word temper, as I did in Temper the Soul, I just thought of a little example I can show you. Now, this is gold wiring. Now, if I undo that, see how it just sprung every which way, isn't it? It's out of control. But what happens is the craftsman or woman comes along and they have an idea in their mind how that should turn out, or what they're going to do with this piece of wire. And so they start working on it. And part of that is tempering the metal. So they hammer it, or they bend it, or smooth it. They do all sorts of things with that. So they start with this unruly piece of gold wire or silver wire, whatever the case may be. And then eventually they turn it into something like this. Can you see it? And that's been tempered, it's been bent, it's been pushed into shape. And look at it. It becomes part of a piece of jewellery. And I like to think of Hashem being like that. When we're exposed to some experiences, be it that the experience is unpleasant, or perhaps we've been unruly, haven't had decorum, He is tempering us. And it's making us stronger. It's turning us into something beautiful, more beautiful than a piece of jewellery. So tempering our soul is a big, important lesson for us in life, and we are to take care of that. So when you feel something and you want to change, that's the tempering, and we're all able to do that. God is the craftsperson, and we are the unruly piece of wire in lots of circumstances, and we have to allow Hashem to mould us and create us into this beautiful piece of God's heaven, part of his royal family, part of his household. So we can all change and be different today than we were yesterday. We've never done anything so bad that we can't come back to God and ask his forgiveness. I really do teshuva, to return to God, to pray and rely on him. And all those experiences that we've been through, they're part of that process of nourishing our heart, our mind, and most importantly, our soul. So it's medication for our soul, as is prayer as well. So those things coupled together are what are tempering us, that hammering, that moulding, that shaping, to create each of us as one of Hashem's beautiful human beings, his emissary on this earth. And we're here to do a job. So I just would like to remind you all to think about that running in the corridor and get a little bit of decorum in your life. And sometimes that means you do have to part with some previous lifestyle behaviours or challenges. And that can be, sometimes you may move to different sorts of friends, or some friends you draw closer to and others that, you know, you're thinking, I'm not really sure about this. So there are some changes. I'm not going to kid you that all of these changes are going to be easy, but they certainly are when you know why you're doing them and you have that love and protection of our loving Father. It makes things rewarding. It gives us a sense of peace and calm. It washes away some of the anxieties that we go through day to day. So that pathway with Hashem, that is continually changing our life for the better. And so we develop a sense of propriety, of correctness, of modesty in behaviour and dress. And of course, along with that, we learn that one of the best things you can do is to always be generous in your time and your words and your kindness and your charity. That is one of the things he expects us to do. So we must be mindful of that being in our community, being polite and kind, being charitable in our ways is what he expects us to do. And we can all procrastinate and say, I haven't got time, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. Well, that's the part of the lifestyle we have to change. We have to say, no, I'm going to do that today. So I just want to remind you all that to subscribe, and also there is a little surprise on the website for you all. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but if you go to the website and you look under videos, you'll see there's a link I've put up there for a wonderful video that Rabbi Michael Skoback has produced. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's a surprise, but I know you'll love it. You'll find it interesting. Some of you may have seen it, but go and have a look at it and refresh your memory. So next week we'll talk about something else, but just remember, all those life experiences you've been through have been tempering your soul. They've taken this piece of wire and turned it into something beautiful. God bless. Talk to you all again soon. Bye.